Hello people and welcome to the fourth episode of the Lake Towers Park project. Finally, because if you saw the third episode you will know that I lost my whole save some weeks ago, but I had to rebuild nearly everything from scratch. I had some blueprints saved, but nearly everything had to be built again, and if you saw that episode you will know that I said that I will try to rebuild everything again and get to the part where I could make new videos. So now we arrived to that part, finally. This time we are starting with our second building of the entrance. Well, third if you count in the third episode the small info kiosk building behind the city hall building. Because if you remember the third episode, I was a little bit sad, so I didn't describe well in that episode how I built that small building, and I want to explain it a little better here at the end. Just at the end of the video, we're going to have a little section with it where I explain it. But right now we are in the fourth episode, so we are going to center in the new building I'm building here, as you can see, and things I can explain from the top. It's like it's a real building. It's not a real recreation of the building. It's based on a real building of the city of Valencia, like most of the buildings I'm building for the entrance area. And in real life, it's basically a big post office. But in the park, I'm going to make an interior for it. For example, the city hall didn't have an interior, but this one is going to have a really cool interior that I'm going to try to record on the next episode. And what I want to make here, it's a restaurant, a really big restaurant, also a fancy, cozy restaurant, a little bit expensive. It's not like those fast food restaurants where you eat your mediocre pizzas and burgers in some of the theme parks. This is more the type of, like, for example, the Wild restaurant at some Disneylands in their main streets. And during this whole video we are going to make like the facade of the whole restaurant. So the interior will be in another episode, and some of the exterior, because I want to put some exterior tables for when people can eat when there's good weather. And yeah, that's basically it. And well, lots of things happened since some weeks ago. For example, I was super lucky to visit Frontier headquarters at Cambridge with some amazing people, some Coaster Head Club members, Gregor Barnes, Shifig, JMR, Stuck71, that is one of the forum moderators at the Frontier forums, Wingardium Levicoaster, Sunstitch, that also made one of the mascots for the game, the Tiki guy, Nemi, that you probably know him from making an amazing modern hotel. Go and see his channel. Ray Cox and Doofsy, that you may know his brother Rudy, but he's also really talented, and he's doing during these days live stream on Twitch where he tries to build Taron, and that's an amazing job because it's going to be really hard to build Taron. And yeah, there were amazing people, really great. We had an amazing time. Not only that, but Frontier was the guys at Frontier were amazing. They were like, wow, I don't know, it was one of the best days of my life, probably, with my first Disneyland visit in California. And those guys are amazing. They're making an amazing game. Obviously I'm on NDA. That's that we signed a non-disclosure agreement, for people that don't know what NDA means. So yeah, we can't really talk about what we saw there, but let me say it's going to be amazing. The beta is going to blow your minds off. If you're watching the video today, the day of release of this video, there's a live stream this afternoon, and they're going to probably talk everything we are going to see in the beta, if they don't save some surprises for the real release. But yeah, it's going to be amazing, guys, really amazing. Obviously, there's going to be things some people want that maybe are not there, but for the most part it's a finished game, I can assure you that. It's going to be incredible. There's going to be so many things for creative people, people like Silverette and the Lady Singer and El Escocés Gamer are going to love the beta. I can assure them that. I know I've talked with them. I haven't said anything to them, but I've said to them, hey, be hyped, it's going to be amazing. So yeah, talking a little bit about the building right now, because I've been talking a little bit off topic of these past weeks of what I've been doing. So as I said before, this is the Central Post Office of Valencia, and while it's called by the majority of people Postal and Telegraph Building Office, its real name is Palace of Communications. And I know some of you have told me you really like when I go on depth with the history and the architecture of the buildings. So I'm going to try to talk about it in most of the episodes when I'm building this type of buildings. And this one is using the same type of Art Nouveau, Valencian Art Nouveau architecture as the city hall I built during episode 2. And while it uses some of the similar structures of it with the imperial columns and lots of stone shields and sculptures. By the way, I'm not going to make the sculptures during this episode because it will take a lot of time. They will be in the next episode probably. But the biggest difference is on the central part of the facade. If you remember the city hall we built in the second episode, it has a really big terrace that it's mainly used for the festivities of Valencia that are done in the city hall plaza. But this one only has like the main facade also has like a big window arch that you can see here how I'm writing the name of the building, that it's Correos and Telégrafos. It's something like Post and Telegraph Office. But here the entrance of the building itself, that is going to be usable by guests, it has like a small staircase that goes up, and then it's divided in 3 big arches that are like the 3 big doorways to the entrance of the building. The 2 sides of the facade that are probably the most different part from the real building, because in the real building it has like a very long left and right part, and here what I did was make them a lot smaller. It is a little bit more compact, the building, and you can see I'm doing one of the parts of the right side of the building right now. Like if in the real building, you have to imagine this part that I'm building right now is repeated like 3 or 4 times, and then this right part and left part, because it's a repeat, should have finished with a big circle corner with a big dome at the top. That circle corner is going to be the only part that appears in the left part of the building in the park. So you will see how I make the big dome in the next few minutes. And a little bit more history. This building was started by the architect Miguel Ángel Navarro Pérez, and the construction was started during the year 1913 and was finished during 1922. If you have been attentive some minutes ago when I was rambling about visiting Frontier and all that, you probably have seen when I built the 2 sides of the central part of the building that has 2 big Roman Corinthian columns, and in both of these sides you can see a circle, each one with a word and a number. The left circle says año, that it's basically year, and the second circle says 1922, that, as you will know, it's the year when they finished the building. So it's an easy way to remember when this building was finished. And as you can see right now, the left part of the building, it's the corner, the circle corner I was talking about some minutes ago. Excuse me. And this time, as you can see, it's similar to the straight walls, but this time in the center door of the rounded corner, that is also in the real building, but only in the left side, as I'm doing here also. You can see a really big doorway that most of the times it's closed also on the real life building. And my first idea was trying to have that door be opened, so people could use that path to get to the terrace where the tables outside are. The problem is with the path I have inside the building right now, that it's perfect to put tables inside. I couldn't, the path system was a little bit finicky, so I couldn't join the corners, and at the end I decided to close the door like in the real building and call it a day. And right now I'm working on the dome of the round corner part. And as you can see, it's a little bit different from the rounded dome from the city hall I built in the second episode, because it has a lot of decoration in the walls, like this window I've built that I'm very proud of how it's the results, because it really looks like the real one. And probably some of you can compare it to real French Art Nouveau architecture, because it's the part of this building that looks more like its French counterpart. And last but not least of the dome, it's the dome itself. And some tips to people out there that want to build this type of domes that are nearly impossible to build with the roofs we have right now in the game. And it's using the wooden post decoration that I really love, as you can probably see of how much I use it in the game, because it's so versatile. And using the lower flat part of it, just move it quarter by quarter until you get the shape of the dome itself. And as you can see, this is different from the dome from the city hall, because it has like some decorations like elevated roof tiles and things like and white stripes. So now a little bit off topic until we get to one of the other important parts of the building. And it's talking about the beta a little bit more, of the things that Frontier has already showed to you in the Facebook images. Things like the square paths, for example, they were also a surprise for us, as we didn't saw them during our visit. Other things like the color picker, for example, I'm super excited for that, because as a creative person, I'm really, let's say, censored about the colors I can choose for my buildings. And now with the full RGB color picker, it's going to be amazing, because we can do whatever we want with our buildings. And other things like the custom music, for example, that we fondly joked during our visit that it was a Vampiro feature. If you don't know Vampiro who he is, he's one of the guys that really wanted custom music at the Frontier forums. And wow, and that's only the tip of the iceberg. Like the things they are going to show you today, if you are watching this today, for example, and you are going to watch the live stream this afternoon, wow, you are going to be blown your mind. And now we arrive to the last part of the building itself. As you can see, it's like a simple rectangular building. There's nothing much to see about it, no? And some window with arches. But the good thing comes right now, and it's that this building has a huge communication tower, as you are going to watch. And the communication tower is a metal structure, something like similar to the top part of the Eiffel Tower, for example. It's very similar. I think you can go to the top of it now. I never have visited the inside of the tower, but I've heard that you can visit it now. Because we don't have in the game right now metal steel works to build these type of things, of metal structures. I had to do with the wooden planks that thankfully we can color in black, so they can be similar to this metal structure. And the diagonals you are seeing right now are done with the pirate iron ring. That is very useful for this type of things, and also for lettering, for example, in some of the walls. You have probably seen it during my Superman and Batman rides that I built some months ago. And then there's the top part where with the roofs. I tried to make the roofs again with the same iron rings. And this top part is basically where when you go to the top of the tower, you can have the huge vistas of the City Hall Plaza. And that's basically it. Maybe add that this communication tower is not the real one that was in the building at the start, as the older one was a real communication tower, and this one is only for tourist attraction. So they took out the old one and during the refurbishment and made a new one for it. but from a decorative and site standpoint it's exactly the same as the old tower. So right now I'm going to go a little bit more in depth of what I made in episode number 3, and as you can see, this is the gates part of the turnstiles. I've made some seats that are actually the guests can use, and it's a part with lots of plants and flowers, as you can see, with an information kiosk at both sides of both of the entrances of the park, with the ATMs, and this small building and the gates are based on one of the very big parks that Valencia has, called Viveros. You might have seen at the part of the ATMs, like in the wall, a decorative Valencian shield with the bat, with the famous bat, that it's like the heraldry of the city. And these here are some handmade turnstiles I created that have litter bins inside, so the guests don't collide with them. And that's basically it. I've been leaving you with some cinematic shots. I hope you like them, and have a super nice day.